The first thing we need to do is prepare the area by covering the floor, pulling off the coat base, and getting it completely accessible so that we can remove the wallpaper. After your area is prepped, the next thing you want to do is get the wallpaper to come off. And we're lucky in this job, these are heavy commercial grade wallpaper. It comes off pretty easily. We're not always this lucky. The thing that you can't really see, and doesn't show so well, is the amount of residual glue that's left on the wall after this paper comes off. The glue that's left on the wall has to be removed before you can start to paint, spackle, or do anything. When you look closer at the area after we pull the wallpaper off, you can see just how much glue is on there. That glue has to be removed. And a lot of other hidden surprises you run into behind wallpaper. Things like that you can't really see until after the paper comes off. Now the product that we use to remove this glue is a mixture of diff, which is a surfactant so that the water stays on the wall longer and is able to wet and soften the glue so that we can remove it. And what we're going to do right here, using a pump sprayer, is apply some diff to the wall. You got to put it on, spray it on pretty good. Don't be afraid to get the wall wet. Now, granted, if these walls were not painted prior to this wallpaper going up, and it was bare drywall without being, as they call, sized or primed, you would have to be much more careful about the amount of diff that you use, because what will happen is you can actually delaminate the drywall and it'll come apart and create quite a mess. Being that these walls are painted, again, we kind of got lucky.
Yes, sir.
It makes it a little bit easier. So we can load the diff on there and let it really do its job, and then come back afterwards and scrape it off. We need to take our time, put the diff on, and let it do its thing. It's really important that it goes on, completely covers the surface, and everything's nice and wet, so that that glue will release and can be scraped off easily. There you go, you can really tell. You look at the amount of glue on that wall. That diff just softens the glue up, and it's just hanging there, waiting to get scraped off. And it needs to come off before you can do any painting. A lot of people will try to paint right over that. You'll end up with a lumpy, bumpy wall with stains that come through and haunt you forever. You have to get rid of that glue. Trying to prime over it, that's a real half-hearted way of doing it, and it never really looks right. Alright, it's time to scrape this glue off. The diff's been allowed to set up for about 10 minutes. I'm going to scrape off the glue. Man, look at that. Look at that mess. There's a lot of glue on those walls. And that is why wallpaper removal is such an expensive project. Every inch of these walls needs to be wiped with a sponge after it gets sprayed, and then scraped, and then wiped with a sponge again. Slow and arduous task. Wallpaper removal really is. And this is an easy one because the wallpaper came off the way it was supposed to. It doesn't always happen that way. And that is how you remove glue using diff, or for that matter, any surfactant you can use to get the glue off the wall.